Today's the day, elites. You see that empty space right there? That beautiful, beautiful empty space? It's good looking and all, but it's also empty. Soon, well, by soon, I mean by the end of the episode, like 20 minutes from now, we'll officially be on the way to a not empty space in this starter house. Welcome back to the Minecraft Guide, everybody. It's me, your guy, Two Eyes. This bird, this blue, green, yellow bird. The bird that's been sitting here for a long time, unnamed. I hate this bird a lot, deeply. It's noisy, but I have a name for the bird. The bird deserves a name, at least. So, here we go. It's not saying much, but there you go. That's your name. What's the bird's name? Well, of course, I decided. Where's the name? Okay, hold on. Okay, here's the name. Burb. Yep, perfect. It's simple. It explains the bird's energy exactly. Big shout out to Adam E for that name. The name is perfect for the bird. The other name that I liked is Noisy, but we can't talk about the bird any longer. It always tries to take control of things. We can't have that happen. So, elites, check this out. I've been busy digging in between episodes. Previously, there was a mountain here. It went over to this spot right here. There was another mountain over here. There was a low area behind the mountain. It was pretty cool. And there were a lot of plants here. All of the plants have been killed. The mountain has been dug away by, of course, me for today's build. In the last episode, we talked all about the basics of redstone. Today, we're adding our very first auto farm into this world. I am excited for this one because it's going to be useful. Now, today, we're going to build a small auto farm. In the future, we'll build a bigger version of this, but today, it's just a start. It's going to be good. It'll at least get us lots and lots of sugarcane. We introduced the farm at the end of the last episode. Now, I did go ahead and get a little bit ahead of myself. I moved a lot of the supplies that we're going to need into this chest right here. So, let's actually grab a lot of the stuff and then swing over to the crafting table that I conveniently put right here. So, let's go ahead and craft the supplies, then I'll lay them all out in the chest, we'll talk about them, and then we'll build the build. Then we'll put a fancy building around the build because I have a really good idea that I'm crazy excited for. So, we're going to need some powered rails. We're also going to need 8 observers. So, boom, there we go, 8 of those boys. We're also going to need 8 pistons. So, let's go ahead and find the pistons. Boom, right in here, 8 of them. There we go, perfect as always. We're going to need a couple hoppers as well, but one of those hoppers belongs inside of this minecart right here. This is one of the minecarts that I got from one of the mine shafts. We're also going to need 2 chests. What else are we going to need? Power sources for the rails. Okay. Building blocks. Can't craft those. Okay. I think that might be it. I think we've done it. Alright, so let's check the supplies. Of course, we're going to need something to plant sugarcane on. So dirt or sand, but probably dirt. You're also going to want to have sugarcane. You could start with 1, you could start with 8. We'll start with 8. You'll need 6 rails. Then, you'll need 2 powered rails. You'll also need a way to power those rails. You will be needing building blocks for this build. Really, any solid building blocks will do. Now, we're going to waterlog some blocks, so we're going to grab some stairs. Stairs will be my waterlog blocks. We're going to need 1 hopper and a hopper minecart. We will also need a chest to store our sugarcane in. Finally, we'll need 8 redstone dust, 8 observers, and 8 pistons. And then some water. So water buckets right there. I think that's pretty much everything, though. Yeah, that should be right. Okay, here's the move. We're going to build this farm, then we're going to put a sweet building around this farm. With this build, you have a lot of options. Build it in the overworld, under the ground, up in the air. It'll work basically anywhere. How much space do you need? Well, that really depends on how big you want your farm to be. I want this farm to be a starter farm, a simple farm, a small farm. So we're going to need like 8 to 10 blocks of space, couple blocks worth of depth, probably like 4. To start this build, place a double chest in the ground and then a hopper going into that double chest. You can go ahead and test it by throwing something in the hopper if you want to, or don't. I know it's going to work. After that, we'll place some blocks to put a rail line on. So, I don't like the idea of running my rail line on grass. We're better than that, so we're not going to do that. So here we go. We have 6 blocks right there. On the end, though, we need to switch it up a little bit. We're going to want to have blocks that are powered on either end. So you could do this with a redstone torch going into a block. You could do it with a lever on a block. However you do it, you basically just need some powered blocks on the end. Something just like that. Finally, after placing all of the blocks on the ground that you want your rail line to be on, place a block on one end, a block on the other end. These blocks need to be solid blocks, so something just like a stone, that would work, wood, yeah, a solid block. Now, it's rail line time. On either end, powered rail. So boom, boom, there we go. Then in the middle, just normal rails connecting everything. So here we go, we have a continuous line. If we were to put this hopper minecart on here, it would bounce back and forth continuously because the power level is high enough and we have those solid blocks there. Now, if your farm gets bigger, you're probably going to want to put more powered rails in there. Put them anywhere except right next to the hopper. If you put them right next to the hopper will be locked. Definitely bad. But there we go. This minecart will run forever, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. It will never stop until we stop it. I don't want to listen to it. It's annoying. So we're going to go ahead and kill it, put it in there for now. Next up, we need to set up an area to actually plant our crops, which is really, really simple. Right above this rail line, like directly above it, place some plantable blocks. What kind of blocks? Well, anything the sugarcane can be planted on. We're going to go with coarse dirt. I think coarse dirt looks great. Now, what do you need to grow sugarcane? Well, of course, you need a block to plant it on, but you also need water. Behind this block, the row that you just placed, you'll need waterloggable blocks or just solid water blocks. Now, here's a little trick for you. Place a staircase on either end, facing inwards, just like that, then climb up on top of your dirt. If you place staircases in here connecting all to each other, you can actually waterlog them, and the water will stay inside of the staircases and will be enough water for your farm to actually work. So check this. Water right there, water right there. The water's not going to go anywhere, and 100%, we will be able to plant sugarcane on top of that. You're going to want to have water inside of every single staircase if you're going the staircase route. On the other hand, if you're not going the staircase route, then just put water sources behind the block somehow, whatever you really want to do, so long as there is water so you can plant the sugarcane. After you have all of your water set, good to go, it's time to move on to the next step. Now we're going to place some temporary blocks right there, actually only one, and then we're going to grab some birch. I like the look of birch with sugarcane. I think it looks really, really good. I mean, the combination, the lime with this color, ooh, that's a good combination. So we're going to go ahead and put a bunch of birch in there. I think that'll look great. Basically, what I'm getting at here, though, is a row of solid building blocks, whatever you'd like. Now, finally, to wrap everything up, it is redstone time. After we have something that looks like this, to start our redstone, we need a row of pistons. Easy enough. These pistons need to face forwards. These pistons will be used to harvest the sugarcane inside of this farm. Place the pistons right on top of your row of building blocks. We're putting them up high so we have the base sugarcane plant left alone. Of course, we want our sugarcane to continue to grow after one harvest. You know, that's kind of the point of this farm. Behind the pistons, place a solid building block. So anything really except like glass and things like that. Solid building block. There we go. On top of the building blocks, we're going to want to have redstone dust. One line going all the way on top of every building block. Finally, to finish everything off with this farm, just about, we're going to need observers facing forwards. To place an observer in the right direction, face whatever direction you're trying to place it in, and then place it. So there we go. We have an observer looking forward towards their starter house in this case. That is perfect. Everything is correct if it looks like this on the backside. By the way, this farm works on Java and Bedrock Edition. Big yay here. So now let's go ahead and plant our sugarcane. Because we have waterlogged blocks, we can plant it all the way along there. And now, really, we're golden, elites. That's pretty much all we need to do for this automatic sugarcane farm. Other than one big thing, we need solid building blocks all the way around this thing, but this time you could use glass, which is definitely the move that I'm gonna make. So check this out. On the front of the farm, I could do black stained glass, that would look good, but I'm honestly kind of leaning towards normal clear glass this time. So we go ahead and place this all in right here, and then we'll need to go 2 more blocks up with it. We need this to actually hold the sugarcane in when it's harvested. You see, without these building blocks, the sugarcane could get thrown basically everywhere. That's definitely not what we want. We want to trap the sugarcane inside of one singular block, the block where the plant is actually planted. Now, why is that? Well, simple. We want everything to be trapped inside of this area right here because of the hopper minecart. Remember, the hopper minecart is doing all of our collection work for us. The hopper minecart line runs right under that one block, the only space where it'll actually be able to pick things up. On top of this farm, you will also want solid blocks. I recommend going with a solid block route. Slabs might work. Also consider lighting. You might want some lighting in here too. Not absolutely necessary though. We're gonna have lighting around this farm, so that'll be fine. But you definitely, 100,000% definitely want to have a roof on this thing. But I'm not going to put it in quite yet. First, before I do anything more with this farm, we're actually going to start building the building around this thing now, which is something that I am really, really excited for. So the build palette is going to match this build palette roughly. It'll be similar. I want all of the builds this time in this area to actually match, to look like really, really good with each other. But I also don't want things to get too, samey and repetitive and boring. So we're going to try and switch things up, but also keep it similar, basically. So on the back here, I'm thinking maybe diagonally out from this spot right here, we'll go with a dark oak beam that'll be stripped just like that. Then we're gonna actually move over this way. I'm thinking maybe like diagonal 1. That should probably be fine. I don't know how tall it's gonna be, by the way, but strip it again, right? Okay. Then we're gonna go ahead and basically do the same thing. I'm thinking maybe, right? We could do that. Then we could have a wall in here. How long should the wall be though? Hey, that's a good question. I'm thinking maybe... Let's just go 1, 2, 3. Hi, Rosie. 4, 5. So maybe 5 blocks long. That's probably a pretty good wall, right? So then that means a beam right there, and goodbye bed. Another beam right there, right? Okay, good so far. Then we could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then maybe another one. And then we could go 5 again, but that would be really long. So this time, maybe we go... Let's see. Well, you know what? This is how we figure it out. We go over here and basically replicate everything. So we put that there. We go 5 forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Okay. I think that's the block there. There we go. And then what do we have in here? A section of 4. Ooh, that's pushing it. That's pushing it, buddy. I don't like 4s, but I think we can make it work. We could do like a double door. That would look pretty grand. I think it'll work. Winging it here. I think that'll work, though. So far, this build looks, in my opinion, insanely solid. It seems like it's coming together, right? Yeah, for sure. It all makes sense. But, you know what? I need to repeat this trick. I loved the trick that we did on the starter house. I think it worked out really well, and a lot of you guys seem to like it, too. So, you know what we're going to do? We're actually going to use barrels in this build, in the build palette again. I loved using them on the last one. It looked so cool. So, let's go ahead and try it. Barrels as our base block, right? So, that makes it similar to that part of the build right there. So, barrels down here along the bottom of the build. Is it going to work? I'm not sure. I hope it will. So, there we go. We'll do that on the front. Then, over here on, like, the literal, like, front where we're going to put our door. Oh, it'll be a little bit different. Let's see. What if we put the door there and then we had the barrels facing the other way, right? So we don't see that cap. Yeah, I think that would look a lot better. So something just like that. That makes these barrels look like some sort of custom wood block. That looks good. Okay, so I went ahead and caught the build up a little bit. Here's what we have right now. By the way, don't know if you noticed quite yet, but floating vine. Don't know what's up with it. I was cutting down trees, and yeah, the word for it, simple. It's weird. I don't know. It's probably going to be in the way, though, so it'll go away soon. Anyways, though, this is what we have with the build now. A base of barrels. It looks beautiful. Rosie's in the middle. She's loving it. Now is the interesting part. This should get fun. So, I love arches. I also love good-looking builds. I want this this world, this area, to have really good-looking builds. So, solid block there, right? And then a solid block right there. Then what we're going to do to create depth is staircase, upside down. I think that'll work. Then what we could do is go up maybe 1, 2. 2 is probably good. Then we could do a staircase right there. Do the same thing, 2, staircase. Finally, in the middle, to create the arch, I'm thinking a slab like that. Then, to finish everything else off, we'll just go up 2 more blocks with more stone bricks, just like this. It'll be like a solid stone brick wall. Of course, I'll come back in here, though, and get mossy stone bricks. We'll do that when I'm detailing. So, we have a window like that. I think that looks pretty cool. On the inside, somehow, maybe with, like, walls, we could put, like, maybe panes or maybe iron bars or something. We'll put a window on the inside. It won't be open. Then I'm thinking to break this big empty space up there, we could do maybe a staircase and a staircase, right? Then we could go slab, 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 slab. So then we have an arch right in there, right? Look at that arch. That's a beautiful arch. Then we can make a couple more staircases because we need to. Here we go, boom. And on the other side, we could do pretty much the same thing. Staircase right there, but it's smaller, right? So we'll have to get more creative. We could do a slab, 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 and then come back in and just remove that slab. Now we have another arch right there, and that looks really good. Then I'm thinking in this like flat area, we could either like hang something, right? Like we could do like a staircase and then like a chain or something, or we could do like an oak trapdoor. That would look good, and it would bring another color into this palette. Then around the door, let's talk about that now. So what we're gonna want to have is a couple more staircases. Let's go ahead and craft maybe like 3 more. 3 should probably do. So there we go. We start again the same. Upside down staircase to create depth. There we go. Then on top of that, I'm thinking probably solid block. Maybe staircase right there. Staircase right there. We have an arch doorway now. That'll be cool. Then we could probably just go a couple more solid blocks on the side for sure. That'll just be like that. That'll be good. Then, let's see. I gotta be honest, I never know what to do above doors other than create a beautiful shape, elites. I don't know. Okay, so look, we got a couple options here. So we could do staircases, right? And we could create like a square window right here, just like we did on that door, actually, which I never talked about. I forgot to talk about it, so we'll talk about it in a second, but this is an option, right? we could just do this. It does create a particular shape, but I mean, it works, right? Like it's a window, and it kind of looks interesting. We could put something behind it. Speaking of something behind it, this area. So I never talked about it when we were working on the starter house, but this is what I was thinking. Maybe we could make it fancy in here by doing maybe gold, right? Like flexing, basically. Just big flex energy in here. We don't have netherite quite yet, so we can't flex with that. But what we could do is a gold block, right? An emerald block, okay, looking good. Then we could come in here and do a diamond block, right? Getting really expensive there. There we go, boom, diamond block. And then finally, I guess for now, we could do a nice placeholder of an iron block. An iron block looks pretty good, so there we go. We could do that. We could, if we wanted to, do that on the other door. So, the one that we're creating up there. That would work. That's an option. The only catch up with this thing in here like this is it kind of looks a little bit weird. So to get around that, we could take those slabs off and then maybe just put a couple staircases here and kind of fully commit to this look. So there we go. We have an arch. Honestly, I almost feel like that looks a little bit better. Or we could just do solid blocks. We have a couple options. But anyways, so that's one thing that we could do. Another thing that I was thinking that we could do is maybe with some wool, but not on this build. I like the idea of the blocks on this one because it's kind of a special build. I think that looks cool from the outside. On this one, though, we don't really need to do that. That would be overkill. So we could do something like that and have a little bit of white showing through. That might look good. For now, we'll leave it. But this is what I'm thinking on the front. Now, finally, there's one more thing that I would like to do on this build to level it up even more. Aside from a couple details that I want to add in later, we can do staircases at the bottom of these supports to make things look really, really fancy. Now, on the side ones, it's going to be a little bit different because, we have the spot right there. Which way would the staircase go? So, to get around that, here's what I'm thinking. We craft a few more slabs, lots of back and forth. All right, there we go, a couple more slabs. Boom, boom. And this one, it will continue higher. I need to cut down another tree, but we'd have something that looks like that and in the middle, and then it kind of swoops it up on the side. I think that would be cool. Over here, I'm definitely gonna have to cut down that mountain, but yeah, something like that is what I'm thinking for the build. Don't know how we'll do the doors. We'll do them somehow. And then this wall, probably just a solid stone brick wall. Probably the same thing over here, maybe a window, but probably just a solid wall. And then the back of the build. We'll talk about the back of the build in a minute, but now I think I'm liking what I kind of spread out there. So I think what we want to do next is talk about the roof a little bit. The roof is gonna be more tricky though. So this is all placeholders for now because I know what I want to do on the roof in terms of blocks. I want to have as an outline block dark oak planks. That would look really good. And then as an inside fill-in block, probably cobblestone and mossy cobblestone. The shape though, I'm thinking something a lot more unique, a lot more different. This isn't really something that I've done before. So what we'll do is we'll start it with a slab. Let's actually start it on the side. So we start with a slab like that. And then I think what I want to do is probably well, you know what? We'll pop it out like this. We start with a slab, okay? Then we go maybe a solid block like that. Then, or you know what? What if, actually, to ramp things up a little bit more, we went with the staircase, okay? Let's just do that for now. So we have a staircase right there. Then we could do maybe another staircase, right? Then we could go solid block, maybe. And then we could go staircase like that. And then we could go another staircase and then another staircase. And then finally, we would be almost at the middle. So maybe upside down staircase slab, and then I think the middle would be just like that, or maybe even doubled up on that. I'm thinking that's gonna be the shape of the roof. Yeah, kind of more like a barn almost, right? I think that would be the best way to describe it. Yeah, something like that. So that's what I'm thinking for the roof line as well. But if you haven't noticed, I'm highly low on something. Dark oak. Yep, it's out. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and cut away. I'm going to get a lot of dark oak. I'm going to try out this roof shape, maybe add a few details, have things pop up, pop down. I'm going to go ahead and get a lot of the build in, and this mountain. This mountain needs to go away. This one for sure. The back one we can work with. We might have to push it back a little bit, ruin my beautiful terraforming, but we can work with it. But this one, an absolute non-negotiation. It just has to go. It's very thin anyways. It doesn't look that good. So mountain's going to go away. I'm going to dig this thing out, and I'm going to finish up the build a little bit more. I'll be back once we're in a better spot. Yeah, I mean, look at this, though. It's literally one block thick. Yep, it's not even a mountain. It's just a literal random wall. One of those random generation things. Yeah, we don't need this here. So, this build has been coming along quite nicely, too, if I do say so myself. I'm really, really happy with how the roof shape ended up going. I was honestly kind of nervous about this roof shape, because it's different, but honestly, no, I should have been nervous. It's all good. Now, I want to add a little bit of a detail to the roof, so we're going to go ahead and add a chimney in here. Chimney done just like this, maybe 2. If I feel like it needs to be 3, I'll come back, but I feel like 2 is probably going to be good. Then everywhere else, I have everything filled in. I decided to add these dark oak, like, dividers on the roof, you know, to make it look a little bit better. I also took this whole mountain away. Looks so much better in this area. But let's go ahead and take a step back. It's kind of cramped. Let's maybe go over here and see what we think. Oh yeah, that is exactly what I'm talking about. You see that shape? That's a nice shape, and there's some good amount of depth on that roof as well, which I am really happy with. Now, on the inside of the build, here is what's happening. Well, first off, really dark. We definitely got to change that. But I've got the floor in. I went with jungle floor. I feel like that looks really good. What I didn't do quite yet is behind here, though. I'm thinking either A, stone bricks, B, this stuff right there. I can't really decide, though. Now, this back wall, let's actually talk about that wall really quick here. To talk about the wall, though, we actually need to make some walls. So, if we move back here, this is what I'm thinking. This area is probably going to stay pretty, you know, like, unseen. I'm never going to really do too much back here. But I do need to have a wall on the back of this build. So, what I'm thinking is we start with cobblestone in here. We just kind of fill probably this in all the way up to, like, there. Then, after the cobblestone on the ground, we would probably put even more cobblestone. And I could come in here with variations. That would be a good idea. Or I could just do it plain and simple, just like this. After that, we put a little bit of lighting in here, and I'll still come back in and do the whole blocks right there. We definitely need to have that happen. Then, to do these walls, we could actually just use real walls. I think that would look really good, and it would actually create a little bit of depth in here. Now, if I want this wall to look good, I'm actually going to have to pull this back a little bit. Not a problem at all. Can easily dig it out, replace some of the stone with dirt. Boom, it'll look golden. And then for the back part of the roof line, well, that's even easier. All we need to do is literally just some slabs sloping down off of the thing to make it look finished. After getting everything in, we end up with a back of the build that sort of looks like this. Now, the hill, very close. Still need to move a little bit of it. I don't know. Maybe this mountain goes away too. I really can't decide. But anyways, the back of the build looks like this. You can see through a little bit. I'm fine with it. It's cool. Then down here, we have something that looks like this. You know, just a flat wall area. Put some staircases there to have that blend in a little bit better. Another small hole. Not that big of a problem. Actually, you know what? We could clog that one up just like that. Boom. Not a problem at all. Now, moving around the build, we have to do a little bit of detailing on the outside, but the inside, this is where it's at now. Oh yeah, I did even more work. I want a tall ceiling in this build. I feel like that feels really grand. I put some lanterns up there to bring a little bit of light into the build up there too. Now, this area, I changed it. I put some trapdoors there. I feel like that looks pretty good from the outside. It's almost like, whoa, how did that boy do it? Now, the inside. We definitely need a window still, 100%. So, here's what I'm thinking with the window. We actually have a lot of the things in the inventory already. So, we put a little table right there, right? That's a pretty good start. Then, on either side of the window, probably, or you know what? No. Let's get really fancy here. Let's go ahead and do this. We'll go ahead and get maybe these chiseled stone bricks. Those are cool. And then, finally, maybe a little bit of slabs too. That'll probably maybe do. And also walls. Maybe 3 walls for each side. I'm not 100% sure of the dimensions. But anyways, let's go ahead and do this and this, right? And then wall. Okay, so I guess 2 on each side, or no. 3 on each side. So there you go. 3 walls and then slabs. Just straight across the top of this thing. But do we want to continue this? No, I think we want slabs all the way. Alright, so slabs all the way, there we go. Those aren't spawnable blocks because they're slabs. And then finally, glass panes, filling in all the way in here to create our window. It's a little different. I'm not 100% sure, but it does blend into the wall, like a lot in here, which is perfect. And then from the outside, it looks good. I think we're going to go ahead and go with it because, I mean, I already put it in. But yeah, that's the window. Now, we do technically have space for windows on these walls, but then again, I don't know. This is meant to be the focus of the build in here. By the way, did surround it with trapdoors, put staircases in there to make that look good, and actually got the farm running because I actually had a harvest and the sugarcane was sitting there. Didn't really want to waste the stuff. So, we need to get a door on the build. I'm thinking maybe like a spruce door. That would look pretty good. What we'll do is we'll put the door there and the door right there. Then we have a tiny window right there, which honestly, I'm okay with. In fact, you know what? Let's actually move the door inwards a little bit, or outwards, or yeah, we'll put it right there. I feel like that's even better. There's lots of depth going on there. That looks good. Now, the outside of the build definitely needs a little bit of spicing up. How are we going to do that? Well, I have an idea. This idea involves some fences and some fence gates, a little bit of both. It will also involve some trapdoors and, of course, our favorite lighting source in the world, torches. Just kidding, lanterns, definitely. So, we already talked about it, but trapdoors probably right there to kind of clean up those intersections. I think that looks pretty good. Then we could do some hanging lanterns off of this build. So, fence gate right there, and then finally, another fence gate right there, right? Then coming off of those fence gates, we could do fences just kind of hanging there, just like that. And then finally, to cap everything off, lanterns hanging right off at the front of the build. Then we have a really bright front. Like, this is all going to be really good. No mobs will ever spawn in here, which is exactly what I want. And I feel like that looks really cool. I like the look, the vibe, the aesthetic there. Now, I do need to come back in and get a couple blocks in there just to kind of close up some gaps. The roof is a lot more interesting, complex though, so don't know what I'll be able to fit in there. But for the most part, it looks pretty good in my opinion. Now, on the sides, I'll probably do the same thing, like trapdoors right there to close that off. And then right there, that weird gap, we could honestly probably just throw one of those. That would probably do it, I think. If not, we could do a fence. A fence would also work right there. But I think, for the most part, that's going to do it for the build. The inside is a little empty still. Definitely does need some work. But for the most part, I'm thinking that the inside of this build will stay pretty bare. Maybe we'll put like some of the essentials in here, like maybe a crafting table, a stone cutter, maybe even a bed. We could throw a bed in here. But then again, I honestly don't know if we need a bed. We could definitely go with a painting in there, but I'm insanely low on wool. So we'll have to come back and do that a little bit later. Aha, actually, you know what? Never mind. I have enough for a painting, which is perfect. Another thing that I could definitely use in here, like a rug, like a lime rug, that would look really good. But that is definitely something that I won't be able to get quite yet. So let's go ahead and put a big painting in here, 2 by 2. We'll have to find the perfect one. What's going to be the perfect? Well, that kind of matches the birch, but I don't know if I like it. Okay, that again. All right. You know what? Do we want to maybe go for that spot? Oh, no, that one. That's definitely the vibe. 100%. That is perfect. And that's actually going to cut it for the build today. Unless I want to put a window in there. Not too sure. So, that means it's time for today's comment of the day. Today's comment of the day is a simple one. Why don't you use scaffolding? You literally live in a jungle. Scaffolding. Yeah, I should totally go and plant some bamboo or harvest some bamboo and make scaffolding. But we also need a reliable source of string. Something that I hope to find over here very soon. I'm thinking that we're probably gonna need to head down into the mines very soon. Because, well, 1, we used up a lot of diamonds on that whole entrance thing. But 2, I have cobblestone, but actually not that much cobblestone in the grand scheme of things. Like, I don't want to run out of this stuff. So I'm thinking we'll probably have to set up some sort of mining thing, maybe even in the next episode, and then hopefully do a little bit of caving and find like a good spawner or 2. But for today, that is absolutely going to cut it. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you haven't left a like yet, definitely do that right now. Today, big shout out to my patrons, Smiling Potato, Snow White, and Nicholas W. Thank you all so much for the support. Subscribe, like, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.